All right, well, good morning, everybody. My name is Tom Rolston. I'm here to introduce both Danielle, our first speaker, as well as Netline, who is our sponsor. And if you don't know Netline, they're a phenomenal lead generation resource, and I urge you to stop by their booth out in the main room. And but without much ado, I'm going to just introduce Danielle Amato. She is somebody who's used the Netline product, so she is going to give you a little bit of insight as to how you can generate leads using this kind of product, but also just a lot of creativity, because they obviously have had some significant growth. So without further ado, Danielle.
Thank you. Good morning. How's everyone enjoying the conference so far? Good. Well, I appreciate you joining me for this session, where I'm going to discuss how Mercer generated 2,770% more leads with targeted content-centric lead generation strategy. My name's Danielle Amato. I'm a segment marketing leader at Mercer. At a glance at today's agenda, we're going to discuss data that inspired this marketing campaign, piloting an industry-focused campaign, data, which is the research and findings, key actions, outcomes, and then a quick summary. So a little bit background about Mercer first. Mercer is the global leader in redefining the world of work. We're reshaping retirement and investment outcomes and unlocking health and well-being. We break it down into 3 lines of business at Mercer: health, wealth, and career. I'm responsible for the U.S. health marketing strategy and execution, targeting mid-sized businesses. We define mid-sized businesses as 500 to 5,000 employees. This is our largest market segment. So for my team, lead generation is absolutely critical to our success. But our process has dramatically changed over the past 3 years since I've been with the company. But before I jump into the nitty-gritty, we're going to just start off with a few polling questions. So first of all, by show of hands, whose sales teams and leaders are paying attention to how many impressions marketing is generating? Not too many. It is impressions, so it makes sense. So now, whose sales teams and leaders are paying to how many requests for consultations or demos are coming their way? Pretty much. It's not rocket science. We all know it is vital to justify Mercer's marketing existence. Failure to justify marketing spend in good markets might find yourself in some tough conversations with leadership. And I don't know about you, but I prefer to avoid those discussions at all costs. Like some of you, I found myself caught up in the marketing machine of creating, launching, monitoring, optimizing, rinse, and repeat. Somewhere along the way, we lost sight of why we are here as marketers and what is our true value. There are billions of metrics to monitor, and very few within seconds can disarm the cynical. Yet I needed to make that happen. After all, let's remember, our sole purpose as B2B marketers, we're here to make the sales process easier. Anything that gets in the way of that or can't attribute to value will be scrutinized. So knowing this, how can we achieve a successful lead generation campaign? So before I get into the stats on this slide, if everyone can just humor me for one moment with one other quick polling question. So raise your hand if any of you still have your college textbooks. Come on, I know some of you have them, don't lie. Well, yep, I saved them too, just in case. Because what if I ever need them? What if they somehow contain the key to success of one of my marketing campaigns I had yet dreamed up? Well, my college textbooks are great. They cover the 4 Ps of marketing. They teach you how the best approach to traditional marketing. They explore all the way businesses have marketed products since the roaring 20s. But you know what those big books can't teach me? How to reach potential consumers today. When my college books were published, digital marketing, social media, the peso model didn't exist. And there certainly was no chapter on the 4th Industrial Revolution. So how is it many of us are taught this about marketing, yet we know, how do we make those decisions on how to reach people in the marketing channels today? How can we design a sustainable marketing strategy that results in powerful lead generation? I don't know. Lead generating marketing is not a one-size-fits-all approach. But you know what these books did teach me? I learned that collected data is powerful consumer information that can inspire our decision-making and strategies. So back to the data on this slide. Today I'm here to share how I used a 20 million B2B professional database to target the right audience using meaningful criteria to generate 2,770% more pre-qualified, engaged leads. And that's more than just being that marketing machine, right? One of my favorite sayings, you can't manage what you don't measure. And if you can't measure it, you can't improve it. This is my motto for every single marketing campaign we launch. All we can do is make informed decisions based on the information we have to work with. Each campaign has its trials and errors, ongoing optimizations, and lessons learned. The insights empower my decision-making. There are no failures, only an opportunity to make a better campaign. Decisions based on data and strategically choosing a content-centric lead generation partner led to one of my most successful lead-generating marketing campaigns. I'm speaking here today because the results were in my favor. As you saw from the stats, not only were they validating, they were exponentially above my wildest expectations. After all, who wants to leave here with a plan looking like a rock star? So I'm going to rewind for a moment. Let's rewind to the data that initiated this campaign. In response to COVID-19 pandemic, Mercer mobilized a team of core experts firm-wide in effort to support our clients and prospects. The team presented weekly webcasts, sharing the latest information how current events impacted the US, perspectives on how these events will define the new shape of work, and actions for employers and businesses and their employees to take to thrive even amidst uncertainty. These sessions generated quite the following. We've had more than 40 sessions. We've seen more than 80,000 registrants and 40,000 attendees. So digging into the data, we coined in who are our frequent flyers, our repeat attendees. We started asking the questions of how can we better cater content based on their personas. Mercer's data uncovered potential opportunity to target our audience by industry. As you can see, there's a significant percentage of highly engaged attendees in the manufacturing industry. Manager and associate levels represent almost 60% of our population. So take note here. It's not C-suite, and we're going to hit this stat soon again. But is this sufficient information to make a change to an entire marketing campaign? No, this new data wasn't necessarily enough to revamp the entire marketing strategy, but it was solid enough to convince us to pivot and inspired us to design a pilot, a mid-market segment, first industry-focused campaign. The data allowed us to work smarter, not harder. Focusing on segmentation gave us the ability to reach an audience with specific messaging that just might work. The pandemic changed everything and totally reshaped the way we do business. Everyone's needs have changed. Our new approach is to marry the way we're currently growing our sales pipeline and driving our incoming marketing qualified leads, while now leveraging our audience profiling data. Rising to the challenge, it was crucial to meet this audience, where they are, and understanding who they are. So to plan forward, I started by looking back. I'm still the lady who kept my college textbooks, right? So I reviewed all the headwinds and tailwinds of our past marketing campaigns, exploring wins and lessons learned from each one to figure out how can I improve on what we have done before. Next up, I needed to solidify the goals for this campaign. What specifically were we out to achieve? We knew we were going to test the waters for an industry-focused campaign before we could just dive right in. We needed to identify the stages of the sales funnel we wanted to generate leads for. Our team at Mercer was looking to build a mid-sized business sales pipeline within that manufacturing industry. The goal is to fill our database with qualified leads. We want to eliminate the cold calling process and deliver warm hand raisers to our sales team. In defining the goals, it's important that we recognize we're not just raising awareness through reach and impressions. We needed to create content that breaks through the clutter. We have a gigantic library of content in Mercer's mid-sized business. But what we wanted to do was create content that targeted to the specific industry. And I could tell you we had nothing that was going after who we were looking at in manufacturing. So instead of beginning with us and what we could offer, we decided to take all that content, evaluate it, and take a look at the content so we can say, hey, let's lead with the client needs for this campaign. Let's develop new content with a belief-based engagement strategy in mind, leading with the issues that affect our clients most, but speaking with our point of view as thought leaders. If beliefs create emotions, emotions will generate actions, and we can create a sense of urgency to change and address the industry challenges. We needed this audience to know that we understand their business. We can serve them now and in the future with our broader range of services. So if we're not using existing content and we decide to take on a new track of fresh content, where is it all coming from? Not me. I'm not a subject matter expert, but I did know where to go. We have some excellent field marketing experts who understand the manufacturing industry inside and out. So I tapped into their expertise and started to build our content. It made the assets so much more relevant by speaking to the manufacturing industry's pain points and allowed us to stick to the plan that we've developed. I have a plan. I've got my SMEs lined up. We're moving in the right direction. But what do I need now? That's right, a budget to make it all happen. My budget for this initiative was, drum roll please, 1% of US Health's entire paid marketing budget. That's right, 1%. So that means I had one chance to get this campaign right. That means I could only hire one paid media partner in combination with Mercer's organic channels to make this happen. So, but how do I reach just one? I mean, look at this landscape of marketing technology options. So I could throw a dart, or in this case, a PowerPoint animation, and it landed on Netline. But just kidding. There was no dart throwing. Once again, I looked back to plan forward. I chose a partner with a proven track record. Mercer had over 4 years of trusted partnership with Netline. They're our primary source of B2B content syndication. With over 7,500 content downloaders, which equates to new leads in our sales database, Netline delivers the greatest volume of first-party sourced, fully permissioned, content-centric leads on a performance basis. They also had the one thing that I'm always after, data. They had the data to support what they were going to deliver. Not only was Netline a proven partner, but they also had incredible segmentation capabilities. They allowed us to really hone in on what we wanted to deliver our campaign, in the campaign and who we deliver it to. Netline delivers leads based on segmentation criteria, and we only pay for the leads delivered. They kept me informed on the best marketing practices and data. And best of all, we could hyper-filter the results and target managers and associate level roles that made up that 60% stat that I showed you earlier. That's who we are after. Netline helped us do that, generating warm leads for sales instead of us spinning our wheels. We had the right strategy, and the right partner, and now we need to deliver the right content to the right people. We're ready to share new manufacturing-specific content that spoke to the industry challenges and needs. Through clear and concise, high-quality graphics and infographics, we showed the audience that we understood them and that they can use us for expertise in their field. So our fresh, focused content has been offered to the audience. Now what? As downloaders transform into new leads, Netline's capabilities allowed us to utilize a 2-question verification to even better identify those warm prospects. Because we're not looking for volume here, Our job is to eliminate that cold call outreach and give our sales team the warm leads that they need. This approach, plus Netline's guarantee, helped us feel confident in the quality of leads, so we delivered the leads to the sales team. The process was seamless. Engaged prospects were directly funneled into Marketo and Salesforce, and giving us not only quality leads, but real-time reporting that kept our campaign on track. Now we're equipped with the invaluable data. So with these prospects accessible immediately, we can begin fostering those relationships. Leveraging the data could help us deliver the right content to the right leads. Then we can gather even more data on the performance of each piece of content and make decisions that would optimize this campaign even more. The amount of data we received was amazing, and by now it should be clear just how much I love data. In real time, we could customize reports and break down the data in ways that were most useful to myself and leadership. For example, I could give leadership a campaign overview of our campaign objectives and parameters, such as time frame and lead goals and CPL. I'm able to filter the details of those contacts to see what their employee size is, what their job area and job level, so we could dig deeper to really understand who they are, as well as content summary. So I can see which pieces of content were most effective, how many leads were generated by each one, plus much more. Weeks go by, our piloted campaign concludes, and the moment we've been waiting for. Manufacturing campaign results, they're in. We compared the results to of our first industry-specific campaign to our US Health general campaigns, and the numbers blew us away. We found there were 900% times more requests for consultations, 36% fewer lead rejections, which means leads are matching our defined segmented criteria, and we're seeing a cost savings of 23% less per lead. During the campaign, we saw a 1,200% increase in web traffic to our manufacturing webpage, and we saw 53% improved engagement with our email nurture series, again, which means we really were able to share the right content with the right people, getting more engagements. We could use the data to clearly see the success of the campaign, but it wasn't the only success in collaborating with Netline. In months of our preparing and executing the campaign together, Netline really proved themselves to be a valuable partner in so many ways. I couldn't have asked for better results or a better experience throughout the entire process. So here's one last flyby of the piloted campaign, which contained our organic channels as well as our exceptional partnership with Netline. So we were able to really arm our sales force with selling power, and this uncovered big results for Mercer. The success of the campaign also generated a new level of confidence in our teams. As well as a new budget, we developed a new strategy and reactivated industry-specific campaigns within Netline. Last, these results also allowed me to expand into additional paid media channels. So at the end of a second sprint featuring the manufacturing campaign, here is what I observed. With Netline in our tool belt, we are now able to source 2,770% more highly qualified first-party leads, making the cost per lead 97% more affordable than the other paid media that we were currently using. Again, this is comparing that industry-specific campaign with hyper-targeting to the standard brand messaging that we have done across Mercer. But better yet, the leads that we garner from Netline delivered 820% more requests for consultation than our other paid media partners during this campaign. So as a result of that additional funding, the data, tools used, and analytics allowed me to uncover the value of each paid media partner. It is the data produced at the end of the sprint of the multiple paid media partners that made it apparent the importance of setting goals. There are so many display-oriented, traffic-oriented, and along with ABM platforms to choose from, it is really crucial to understand your objectives. By fully understanding your marketing campaign's focus and scope, you can clearly define what you're trying to accomplish, such as, are you looking to increase your brand awareness, increase digital presence, ranking in search results, boosting engagement? But in my case, we were looking for lead generation, looking for those opportunities to fill our pipeline. So selecting the right internal partner helps you develop the right content and identify the right people who to target, but choosing the right external partner provides you with that platform to help you locate those right people and collect the meaningful data. Netline was truly a win specifically to our manufacturing campaign. We're thrilled with the results, and we look forward to a continued partnership holds. So let's talk questions. Yes.
How long did you run the campaign for?
The question was, how long did I run the campaign for? And the initial sprint was about 2 to 3 months. And then the second sprint, we reactivated for another 2-3 months once I had received the expanded marketing budget. Yes.
Can you talk a little bit more about the follow-up from the sales team? So once a lead was generated, it was just, did you have a script for the sales team? Did they have follow-up content? Was it a whole menu that you had that they then could follow up? So did you script that out? Did you have content that you gave the sales team? What did that look like when you sent it over?
So once we receive the leads, there is that streamlined, seamless process. So it goes straight into Salesforce. From the marketing perspective, what I would do is put the leads into an email nurture campaign. So we're constantly going to nurture them. First, again, as you saw in the funnel, start with those thought leadership pieces, then come in on problem solving before we start offering solutions. But when we delivered it to the salespeople, part of our process is they get the alerts in Salesforce. So we just let them know, hey, this is where the lead came from. This is the content that was offered up, that they downloaded. We do indicate that they did the 2-step verification, that they wanted to receive the request for consultation. And then it's really up to them. At that point, marketing, our job is to bring it in, and then we kind of hand it off to sales from there. Yes.
Do you know the revenue realized for this campaign?
We're still working on it. So this is a campaign in progress. We started it at the beginning of this year, again, taking that industry approach. We've now broken down into, because of this success, we're now reaching out to 4 different industries and starting our 2023 planning, just going on a full industry approach.
So there's no sales gain or realized from this campaign in 3 or 4 months? Or?
Not at this moment. The reason why is our sales cycle is probably around 6 to 9 months. People, when BORs will come in, when they sign their statements, and I think the open season will be January, so that's when we're really going to start seeing the effectiveness.
The thought leadership pieces, what was like the highest ranking one? Like what was the topics that you found that resonated?
We actually, our best piece was women in manufacturing. So really touching on that diversity, equity, and inclusion.
How many did you offer?
I'm sorry, what was
How
that?
many pieces did you offer?
The email nurture campaign, we offered 8 pieces. And then along the way, once they make it into our Salesforce, then they're open up to other segmenting and filtering criteria, where then Mercer can reach out to them for other initiatives. Right. I am going to be walking around. I will be at the Netline booth. If there's any other questions, I'm happy to have a conversation in more detail. And I do know it's lunchtime, so I put a picture of a delicious-looking donut up here. But I really appreciate you visiting me in this session, and hope everyone enjoys the conference.